players you have, offense and defense, have been able to bully a lot of opponents this year. Can the Eagles, do they have the personnel to match your physicality?
We'll see on Sunday, won't we? I mean, they've got 6 first-round draft picks on the D-line. They've got a really good secondary. They've got physical guys at linebacker. So, yeah, I mean, whatever you see on paper, sure. I mean, it's the NFL. When you look at paper, it should be like, oh, yeah, we can match their physicality and stuff like that. And then you get on the field on Sundays, and the film after the game will show you exactly what you're asking. So I know we're going to come out. We're going to be violent and physical. I'm expecting them to be the same thing, but we'll see.
When you look at the way that they're built, and this may be more of a GM-type question, but a real commitment to their own draft picks like you do. They have a real commitment to bringing guys in that can block and be physical and stop the run. And do you see, I don't know if it's a mirror image, but a team with espouses similar beliefs and ideas?
Yeah, I think I've seen that, over the Eagles over the course of my career. They had a very similar defensive front to us, like the past several years. The wide 9 techniques that just run through your face. Set the edges, be as physical as you possibly can. Pressure the quarterback as quick as you can, so your DBs don't have to cover guys for more than 3 or 4 seconds. So yeah, I think there's a lot of similarities to the way the teams are built. I'm not a GM; I just watch the tape, but yeah, no, you could definitely say that.
The ball meeting that you guys have every week. Have you ever had anything? I'm sure you always emphasize that at every stop you've had, but have you ever had a specific meeting like that, any like in college or anywhere else? And what do you take from those meetings?
I think that mentioned, and we always we mildly talked about the ball in college, but having a specific meeting designed for it, every single week of the entire season. No, I've never been a part of something like that except, my 6 years here. And what I take away, just extra emphasis on the ball. And, when you see cut-ups of guys throughout the league, how they carry the ball, the right way to carry the ball, the wrong way to carry the ball. Even guys who are carrying the ball perfectly, the right way, and the ball still comes out. There's just always an opportunity to be thoughtful and mindful about how you're holding the football. And, guys are running up behind you. You might not see a guy coming from the side. So it's just always be aware of it. And then on the defense, too, it's every opportunity you can have is a chance to get the ball out, whether the guy's diving to the ground, quarterback sliding, even on any type of catch. There's an awesome one from 2 years ago of a Chiefs player caught the ball, didn't get touched. He fell on the ground, stood up. Detroit Lions guy just stood over and punched the ball, and they recovered it just because he let him get up off the ground. So, there's great tape everywhere. There's turnovers all over the field, and so just learning how to, as a defense, take the ball, and then as an offense, how to avoid those situations, I think it's really helpful.
George, yesterday Fred talked about the hunger and the starvation you have to have at this point to get to where you want to be, which is the Super Bowl. Can you describe your hunger and starvation to get to that game?
Yeah, it's what you dreamt about since you were a kid. Do you dream about it when you're in high school, college? You dream about it when you're in the NFL. You dream about situations like this, and whether it's a hunger, a starvation, a desperation. You do everything you can to make sure at the end of the game that you're going to win. You're going to win it. And I think our team did a good job yesterday. We were very mindful about every single rep that we took. I think we were a walk-through pace, but guys were still flying around, getting great work in. Today's a full-speed practice. I know guys are going to get after it today, and I think we have a team that understands the situation we're in. We have a lot of guys on this team that have played in the playoffs before and understand what it is and what it means and what every single rep means. So we're going to be very mindful of those each and every single rep throughout this entire weekend on Sunday.
The other day you talked about having fun, and as serious as this is, it's still important to have fun.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a conscious value? I know that's just you being yourself, but is there a conscious value to keep things loose as the tension sort of rises deep in the playoffs?
That's how I find football to be. It's at its easiest. I think when everyone's running around and there's you can sense an anxiety and stress. And I think that just comes with the level that we're playing at right now. That comes with NFL football. It comes with 45+ million viewers watching on TV. Everyone's watching every single rep that you take, and so if you start thinking about it like that, yeah, it gets really big, and you're like, wow, what am I doing out here? And I don't want anyone on my team to feel like that because they've been playing football their entire life. You know what you're doing. You're out here for a reason. You're either drafted here, you're signed here, you're in this situation for an exact reason, and you've been playing football all year. Why change anything now? And playoffs are different. There's more intensity. Teams are hungry. There's desperation everywhere. So everyone's fighting a little bit harder, fighting through the whistle a little bit more. But if you can still go out there and enjoy yourself and have fun, it does make it a lot easier.
George, the last couple of times you guys have been in a game of this magnitude, things didn't go your way in the fourth quarter. Anything you can learn about those experiences that might help, on Sunday, you're in that environment again?
Win the game earlier. That's part of it. If you go back, whether it was the NFC Championship game last year, or a Super Bowl, like I'm pretty sure our first drive in both those games we didn't do anything on it. Second drives, I don't know how effective we were, and so like, hey, maybe let's just come out to a hot start and get some points on the board, and so we're not playing from behind or having to make miracle plays at the end of the game. And I think we had opportunities to win those games at the end, but if you make plays early enough, first, second quarter, then you might not put yourself in those situations.
Especially important against a team like this that has had so much success rushing the passer after they get big leads and things like that.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. If you give up a lead to these guys and they can sit back, that's where they have all those interceptions. That's where they're leading the NFL in sacks by like 10 plus. I mean, they're really good at that. They've played. Their offense has played at an unreal high level. Their defense, has been able just to pin their ears back and go attack people. That's what they're really good at. They have leading the league in sacks. So, just trying to handle those early. Don't let their offense get out to 14-point lead like they have against basically everybody, and just play good football.
Did you get any funny text or friends reaching out after your mugging for the camera during the game of the night?
My old college coach hit me up about that and just called me a fool, and I was like, man, you've seen that since I was like 18 years old. You know exactly where that's coming from. Thanks, guys.
Been effusive with their praise of you and your detail going into games. Well, what does it mean to have the respect of your peers and your teammates and your coaches, because they've just been effusive in their praise?
It means everything. I think one of the things that you work for is the respect of your peers and your higher ups, your coaches, your front office. So for me, I'm just super blessed to be in this position, and and I'm glad that they take notice to the time I put in.
Obviously, you came here, you said you weren't going to play in Washington anymore. They trade for you in San Francisco. Was this what you imagined it would be like when you were first acquired?
Honestly, yeah, because obviously they was coming off of a Super Bowl, so I expected it to be, playoffs and Super Bowl runs and stuff like that. So yeah.
When you look at their defensive front, I think 63 of their 70 sacks on the season have come from that defensive line. How important is it for you guys to get the running game going quicker than you did last week in order to slow that down?
The running game, especially this late in the year, is nothing. It's not like a, instant grits or something. It's not like you just open the game, just running the ball down people's throat. The running game is something that you wear people on. And you everybody's gonna have a different wrinkle how they're gonna approach us, and a lot of that first couple drives is spent just trying to see what are the new changes, what are they doing different than we've seen on film. If there are some, then we address them. If not, then we kind of know, what runs to stick with, and Cal does a great job of mixing it up, making runs look the same, just kind of peeping away the defensive ends playing, and it's a whole lot that goes into it. So we never go into the game expecting to just bust the gate open with 100 yards in the first quarter. But obviously that's part of our identity, is running the ball, having a really balanced offense. So it's important for sure, but it's going to be tough sledding, just like it was last week. Every week the competition gets stiffer. It's going to be a little harder to run the ball.
What you've seen from their pass rush, why have they been able to have so much success, and how do you kind of slow it down?
Well, I mean, they play with a lead in, I think, like 13 or 14 of their games. So, obviously they got a high-power offense, and that offense gets you behind and makes it a one-dimensional game. And those guys are just too talented to contain them, especially when, it's they know what's coming. They get to pin their ears back, especially when they're at home going on the silent cadence. I think that does a lot for them, and they really get it going. So I think for us, it's not how do we really block them. It's more so what kind of game we get into, and if we make it a one-dimensional drop back game, then it's gonna be pretty tough to keep them off the quarterback.
Speaking of the silent count, how did Brock do with that up in Seattle? And I don't know, did you guys use it much in Vegas?
Can't remember in Vegas.
Well, how did you do in Seattle with the silent
Oh yeah, Seattle, he did good. Obviously, that's one of the loudest stadiums in America. So that's probably the biggest test when you talk about noise. But you know, I've been to Philly almost every year of my career, so it's a little bit more than just the noise that comes with that place. But you know, I think if you can operate in Seattle's noise, I think the noise you can pretty much operate anywhere. But you know, Philly is just one of those places where, you know, those fans they make a difference. They get under your skin. You know, they yell at you. They don't stop. So I think that, you know, that'll be an added factor to it. But I think he operated good in the noise.
Are there people like behind your bench that are screaming, or like what's?
I mean, yeah, it's you know, it's when you walk into there, you know, they let you know that you're not welcome, and you know, we enjoy the home field advantage when we got it here, and then, you know, it's the name of the game. You got to go there, you got to deal with it, and that's why we play the game.
Yesterday, Fred talked about the starvation, the hunger that you have to have at this point. Can you describe what that's like, being one win away from the Super Bowl?
Man, you know, this brand of football that you got to play, you know, when you get this deep in the playoffs, you know, it has to derive from a place of hunger, because it's hard. I mean, what are we, including preseason, we're 20-some-odd weeks in, you know, and we're right at the end of it, you know, and so it's tough, man. Guys are banged up. It's been a long season, but when you have the pinnacle of the game, which is the Super Bowl, dangling right in your face, I think, yeah, the starvation to get there is what's gonna push people through. What's gonna push people to focus a little harder down the stretch, to treat their bodies right during the week, to be ready to go, to play until the whistle. You know, I think he hit it right on the head. You know, I think starvation has a lot to do with that. We all starving to win. Everybody want that ring.
It was in the offseason that you didn't think you should have played in the NFC Championship last year because of your ankle. How much better do you feel going into this game knowing that you can be, you know, whatever, close to 100% you might be at this point in the season?
Yeah, I mean, I feel great. Obviously, that game last year, it left a sour taste in all of our mouths, especially myself. So, you know, I felt like I owed it to them, you know, to those guys to be better this year, this go around. You know, I know I couldn't control my ankle injury, but I do think if I would have tapped out a little earlier, you know, I think I would have gave my team a better chance to come out on top. So, you know, I still carry that with me, and you know, I'm blessed that I can walk into this game healthy, you know, and not having any residuals from anything, and you know, hopefully I can play a healthy 4 quarters, give my team a better chance to win, better than I did last year.
Did you know Aaron Banks came into the season with a little pressure on him? Like, what's wrong with this guy? We didn't play as a rookie. How did, from your perspective, has he handled that, and how has he played?
I didn't notice the pressure. But I mean, I didn't notice the difference in him from the first start of camp. I think that was the difference we noticed, was how detailed, and you obviously tell how he worked on his body. Just becoming a professional while you're away from here, while you have the longest break of your career is right after your rookie season. So I didn't notice the pressure he had on his shoulders. I'm sure, you know, it's nothing that we ever talked about, but we do talk about football, and I am proud of the way he's played all year. He's, you know, by no means has it been perfect, but I think he's exceeded all expectations, especially from a second-year guy, like you said, didn't play much his rookie year. So technically this sort of is his rookie year, and, you know, I think he's been playing lights out.
Not practicing, but what do you try to do to just get yourself mentally and physically ready to play on Sunday?
Just, you know, do all the walkthroughs, the run-throughs, whatever, and, you know, go through the lists multiple times with Coach Lynn or with Bobby T, and it's the same process for me, just lowering a little bit of the physical load.
Is there any chance in your mind that you won't play on Sunday?
0.
Eagles defense, Christian.
They're really good. You know, they got a lot of really good players up front. The linebackers fly to the ball well. Their secondary's talented. And, you know, they pose a lot of challenges in a lot of different areas. So for us, it'll be about us and executing and making sure we take care of, you know, everything we need to take care of on each and every play and eliminate mistakes.
Has your offensive line, I mean, as you've kind of adapted to them over the last couple of months, how much more comfortable are you running behind that now and with the scheme?
I feel great running about. Yeah, I mean they're so talented and so detail oriented, and I think just understanding the purpose for every play is important and where we want to go with the ball and the coaching points on each play. So I feel comfortable.
Look at the Eagles' defense, just as a runner, as a receiver out of the backfield, or split out wide or whatever. What are the principal challenges they present to you?
They have a good pass rush, and then their DBs play well in timing, and their back, you know, all the things I said earlier. They fly to the ball well. You know, they have a good pass rush, so that helps a lot. You know, for us, it's just about executing the play call, though. Kyle knows all that stuff, and he knows exactly where he wants to go with the ball. It's just up to us to be able to go out there, do it full speed, and play beyond the X's and O's.
What does that mean, play well in timing?
You mean like us or them? Yeah, I think they know, you know, they feel the rush and when it comes, and so that they've been able to get some, you know, big play opportunities in the secondary and some turnovers doing that, and you can tell that they play well together. So, you know, there's challenges all over the field, and it's going to, like I said, be up to us to exploit them.
You guys have been so good on both sides of the ball this year in terms of turnovers and winning that turnover battle. The ball beating here, I guess, that you guys have every weekend. Is that something you've had in places before, and what gets it accomplished in those?
Yeah, I think everyone always preaches, you know, the ball's the most important thing. You know, it's a 30-minute meeting here, and it's very important. I think it's just a consistent understanding of how important the ball is and different techniques that we use to protect the ball in each and every play to form those habits.
Christian, you have a unique background with your dad playing. What do you lean on him at all when you're this close to a game that he's been in before, and what's that relationship like where you're at right now in your life?
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, he has so much wisdom. He's played in a lot of these big games, and, you know, the thing that he would probably tell me is do the same thing you do every week. You know, I treat every game like a big game. This whole team does. Every day is, you know, very intentionally sound on perfecting your craft and getting better. It's just to keep doing what you're doing and execute at a high level and take it one play at a time and execute that play. I say the word execute a lot because it's really what it comes down to, is just making sure that on every single play you're doing your job at a high level.
What's the mental process like if, you know, you don't succeed early in the run game, to be able to stick with it, wear them down, hopefully to affect the game late in the game?
Just trust and patience. You know, you never know which one is going to be the one to pop, and you never know when the rhythm is going to start. So it's just trust and patience. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
When you look at the Eagles' offense, is how big of a factor, how much of a concern is Jalen Hurts' ability, not only with his arm, but with his legs?
I mean, it's a huge threat. I mean, just a guy that's able to just throw the ball and make every throw on the field, and then he's also able to just run the ball, like you said. So, you know, you just got to be on your P's and Q's as defense and just be on the same page at all times.
Were there any lessons taken from the game you guys had against Atlanta with Marcus Mariota, or even going back to the game against the Bears? Anything that you've been honing in on this week facing a running quarterback?
Definitely just looking back at the Atlanta game, run a lot similar scheme as far as, you know, what they like to do with their quarterback. So, yeah, you definitely look at that game and look at it and say, okay, these are things we got to improve on. And, you know, you picked it up and learn from it. And, you know, I think that game just goes back to execution. Yeah, we just had a hard time executing. So, you know, we did it once already. So, you know, for us, it's about looking at what we did then and just getting better off that and fixing those mistakes.
You guys, kind of, I mean, obviously all teams are physical in the NFL, but, you know, you've been able to bully some teams. Can the Eagles match your guys' physicality?
Oh, for sure. I mean, they just as a physical team as we are. Just a lot of veteran guys on the team, great offensive line. Just, you know, everybody from, and even their defense is, you know, pretty physical. But yeah, just on the offense specifically, just receivers, the running backs, the quarterbacks, everybody just kind of got a good tenacity to them. They just kind of they like to fight for each other. So it's the same thing that we got as a defense. So it's gonna be a great match.
So good at triggering and swarming to the football. When you face an offense that does the zone read, does it sort of force you to be patient and play a different style? Is that kind of where the execution difficulties come in sometimes?
Yeah, definitely got to be patient versus a team like this, and just really see what you read, and then like you said, executing, and then after you do your job, your assignment, playing patient. That's when you go swarm, and that's when we need everybody to the ball. Yeah, you definitely got to do your job first, but we're always gonna need everybody to the ball no matter what. So we don't like one guy making a tackle. We need 4 or 5 guys.
I think Diamador started the Week 2 game in Philadelphia last year. Where have you seen his growth, his strides the most in the year and a half since then?
D-Moore, aka the hyena. He's made big jumps, big strides. Just was talking to him, before the game last week. Just the things that he's done to be able to make those strides and growth. I can just see it every day in the way that he works, the way that he prepares. Just got a different change of mind, mentality. Just more aggressive in everything that he does, and then just on the details as well. So, I'm excited to see, just to see his growth and just to see how much more he can grow. And yeah.
Is he the only hyena anyone else nicknamed hyena?
Nah, I don't know nobody that got that nickname, so that's pretty sweet.
An appropriate nickname for him?
For him? I don't think it's inappropriate at all. I think it's perfect.
Is it inappropriate?
Inappropriate?
Is it appropriate?
Yeah. I mean, I think that's perfect. I love it.
D'Amico obviously is up for a bunch of jobs. What are some of the traits that make him such a great coach in your mind?
Anytime you got a coach that's played the game, it don't even matter if it's college, high school, or NFL. But the fact that he even played NFL ball, just as a player, it just kind of lets you know that the guy that's talking to you know what he's talking about. You know what I mean? He's able to put himself. He's been in those shoes before, so he knows what it feels like to wake up 7 o'clock, go to meetings, and do this and that, and he know the grind. So. It doesn't mean that it's going to be, he don't make it any easier, but he just kind of help you with the process of, okay, this is what it takes to be a pro, this is what it takes to be good. And the fact that he can relate in that way and different other ways as well, he's been through all the ups and downs as an athlete that you can go through. So, he's just somebody that you can just really talk to, relate to, and he loves the game. So if you love the game as well, he gonna be the perfect coach for anybody.
Speaking of D'Amico, he wears his emotions on his sleeve. Is it fun for you when you guys make a big play and he's jumping around like as if he's one of you guys?
Oh, no doubt, man. That's the best time, man. When you make a play, you can look on the sideline, you got everybody turned, everybody hyped, man. That's what we play the game for, because it's good to make those plays, and but it's even better to make those plays and you got your teammates and everybody else turned. So yeah.
Thanks, Dre.
Yeah, appreciate it.